Welcome, everyone, to the test of English for Thai Engineers and Technologists, or TETET. TETET is an ideal test for university students and people working or wanting to work in the fields of engineering, science, and technology. TETET is developed and organized by the Center for Research and Services, School of Liberal Arts, King Mongkut's University of Technology, Thonburi. TETET is a standardized computer-based test designed to measure the English skills needed in workplace environments in Thailand. The content of TETET is engineering-oriented, but is not biased towards any particular discipline. The test consists of reading, writing, listening, and speaking, and takes about 2 to 2.5 hours to complete. TETET consists of 4 sections, one for each of the 4 language skills. Each section contains several subsections as follows. In reading, there are survival reading, reading from the internet, technical manuals, and email reading. This page is a sample of the survival reading part, in which you need to respond according to the questions or situations given. You need to answer 5 multiple-choice questions within 3 minutes. Here is a sample of internet reading, which is in the form of drag and drop texts. You need to select and drag texts from an offline web page and paste them into the table provided on the test page. You can go between the test page and the web page by clicking on Test or Browser. There are 2 situations in this part, and it takes about 15 minutes to complete. This page is a sample of technical manuals, which consists of 2 sections. The first section involves following instructions in setting up a device or some equipment. You need to match the pictures with the step-by-step instructions given by clicking on Answer and selecting the letter that represents each instruction. In Part 2 of Technical Manuals, you have to read and follow safety regulations in the workplace. You need to read each regulation and move an object which is against the regulations to its proper place. It takes 15 minutes to complete these 2 parts of Technical Manuals. The last part of reading is email reading. You have to read the email provided and answer 5 multiple-choice questions. It takes about 10 minutes to complete this part. The next section of TETET is writing, which consists of report writing, memorandum writing, and email writing. This page is a sample of report writing, which requires you to complete a report by dragging and dropping pieces of text into each blank. There are 10 blanks for this part, and it takes about 15 minutes to complete. This is a sample of memorandum writing. You have to complete a memorandum by rearranging pieces of text to form grammatically correct sentences. For this part, there are 5 sentences, and it takes 10 minutes to complete. Here is the last part of writing, in which you are required to write an email corresponding to a given situation. In writing your email, you can make use of the information provided on the left to write your email in the space provided on the right. You have only 15 minutes to complete this part. The next section of TETET is listening, which is composed of listening to meetings, informal conversations, and automated voice response system. Here is a sample of the first part of listening to meetings. It is like dictation, where you have to listen to people talking in a meeting and type in the words that you hear that are missing from the script. There are 3 main items, and it takes about 5 minutes to complete. Here is a sample of the second part of listening to meetings. You have to listen to a conversation in a meeting and type in short answers to the given questions in the spaces provided. For this part, there are 3 questions, and it takes about 10 minutes to complete. The next section of listening is informal conversations. You have to listen to informal conversations and answer 5 multiple-choice questions in 10 minutes. The last part of listening is Automated Voice Response System, or AVRS, and involves interacting by a telephone. You have to listen to an automated voice over the phone and interact by clicking on the relevant buttons on a touch-tone telephone provided in response to the situation given. Please be careful when clicking on the phone pad. If you make a mistake, you need to start over again, and you can only do this once. The last part of TETET is speaking, which includes questions and answers, and business communication. Here is a sample of questions and answers. It is similar to an interview, focusing on your general personal life. You will hear questions, and you must answer by recording your voice after hearing the beep sound. The last part of speaking is business communication, which is similar to leaving a telephone message. You can make use of information given in the instructions to create your message. You can start recording your message after hearing the beep sound. In completing the test, there are some important issues for you to remember. You can review all instructions, directions, notes, or situations while taking the test. By moving the mouse cursor over the yellow bar in the top right, the relevant text will appear on the screen. You must click the Submit button when you have completed each part of the test. If you want to revise any answers in a section, this must be done before clicking on the Submit button. Before working on the listening parts, especially listening to meetings and informal conversations, you should set the volume level to maximum by clicking on the plus sign on the volume bar in the bottom left. Before starting the speaking part, you should check the volume of your microphone by following the instructions given in the voice recording test program. Since TETET is a timed test, there is a stopwatch to remind you of how much time you have left in the bottom left of the screen. The time is counted backwards as soon as you have finished reading the instructions and enter the main page of test questions. When the time is up, all completed answers will be sent to the computer's database automatically, and the main page of TETET will appear again to start the next section of the test. To report your TETET scores, the marks you score on the sections are converted into grades ranging from 0 to 7. Each candidate receives a report of their grades for the overall test and for each skill. Because a person's language skills and abilities can change over time, TETET grades are valid for only 2 years. From research conducted in designing the test, grades on TETET are equivalent to scores on TOEIC as shown on the back of the score report. Thanks for watching, and good luck as you take the TETET.